Good morning, and welcome to Morning Thoughts with Jen, me. um, Happy Earth Day, happy Earth Day, April 22nd, 2020, and what an unusual time we are living through. So Earth Day normally would be marked by a lot of celebrations out in the world. And obviously we're not doing that, right? Not as good citizens, we are staying home. So but today I thought I would talk about the Schumann resonance. So, and please forgive me as I go through this. I'm going to give you a very, very basic understanding of this. I've done quite a bit of research for it. I can understand the words when I read them, but me repeating them back out, they often don't come out right. So please give me a break. But everything, it may sound like I don't know what I'm talking because I can't say the scientific words all the time. But honestly, I have read the material. I have been following this for some time and I have studied it. And this is all pulling this together from my perspective and understanding. Okay. So anyhow, I'm rambling. Anyhow, the Earth Schumann resonancy. So we've been hearing a lot about this. This is basically just like we are made up of energy. The Earth is made up of energy. Our entire world is made up of energy. We know this. The human body gives off an energy field, and the We of Science is measuring this. We understand that there is an energy field. In spirituality, we work a lot with the energy field, right? It's all about the energy field. So that is actually scientifically measured. They've measured it to be about 3 feet from the body. And the reason why they say it's 3 feet from the body scientifically is because that's as sensitive as our tools have been able to measure. It's not that they've measured that it stopped. It's just that's how far out they can measure. In spirituality, we understand that there's various different layers and different functions of that energy field. We usually call it an aura. And it actually can, on average, reach out between 25 to 30 feet on average, even stretching out to 40 at times. So we have a very large energy field. So anyhow, that's the human energy field. We get that. That's aura, right? Earth has the exact same thing. It is a living being. It gives out an energy field. This energy field has a frequency. We call it the Earth Schumann frequency. That's what it is. Some people refer to it as the Earth heartbeat. But what it is, because it has the pulse, but what it is the frequency of the energy of the Earth, okay? So there's a lot of correlation between human consciousness, our human energy field, and the Earth energy field. They are, obviously, we live on the Earth and we are very affected by what happens to the Earth as well. There has been a lot of evidence that shows that the human energy field affects the Earth's energy field. So scientists started measuring the Earth energy field, the Schumann resonance. I can't speak it. This is the scientific words I can't speak. Okay, there we go. So anyhow, it started measuring it somewhere in the middle of the 20th century, I believe. I don't have the exact year on it, but they started measuring it back then. And for the most part, it's been pretty consistent. So major world events have affected it. So things like 9/11 in the United States, when the Twin Towers were hit and they came down, over the next couple of days, there was a very big spike in the Schumann resonance, in the Earth frequency. And that was that they related that to the human consciousness, that we had a massive conscious shifting that went on. We had the shock, right? And then after the shock, there was a widespreading of compassion. There was also fear, stress. There was all these emotions, kind of like a small version of what we're going through right now, right? Another version of it. So anyhow, so that happened. So they showed it and it took a spike. And then after, as time went on, it returned back to what was a pretty normal, predictable pattern. Well, as of 2014, the Earth resonance actually has been very, very sporadic. It's had these huge spikes and these dips, huge spikes and dips. And it's like, what's going on? What is going on? There is other things. So human consciousness affects the Earth. But also, remember, everything is made up of energy, right? Well, the sun, solar flares, the energy given off by the sun in general, just the regular sun's energy, affects the Earth, the frequency of the Earth, right? Well, the sun has been giving off a lot of solar flares. Every time a solar flare is given off, the Earth energy spikes. It gets a blast of light, blast of energy, right? It spikes. It also spikes when it is moving through different energy periods in energy spaces within our solar system, right? As our solar system moves through the galaxy. So it's all affected all the way out to the cosmos, right? So the energy in the cosmos. Well, currently, as of 2012, we are moving into a high frequency area of space. Well, it's also a bit chaotic. So there's been a lot of up and downs in that galactic cosmic energy as well, which is affecting the Earth, which also affects people, right? So the other thing that has happened is as the Earth has been affected in the Schumann resonancy, there has been a direct correlation between this spiking up and down and this overall, it's on a rise, but it's also in these major spikes, and the spikes are very, very high. Recently, very, very high. So anyhow, what the correlation with humans is that when this frequency spikes into the higher vibrational levels, people become more stressed and depressed. And I read that, I was like, wait a minute, I thought when the frequency went up, it was leading into higher levels of compassion and caring and love. And I'm like, why? Why are they telling me now? Why is the science telling us that a higher frequency correlates with compassion and love and caring and appreciation and gratitude and all those happy, wonderful things that we want to live every day? But the data is showing us the human consciousness is actually spiking in levels of stress and anxiety and depression, right? And we all know in our society, this is on a massive rising trend, right? So I started digging a little deeper to it, and I started taking off my little spiritual hat and thinking outside of my box, and put a little bit of consciousness into this. I went into the Akashic Records and started asking some questions and things like that. So here's what I came to understand. If you are doing healing work, particularly any energy-based healing work, you understand that often the stress bubble inside of that pressure that's inside of us that pushes us into those personal development growth periods can feel very tense, very stressed, very highly emotional. Before we have the big breakthrough in understanding, we often have a very surge through our bodies of fear, anger, tension, confusion, things like that, right? I've often thought in my life that I've wanted to make a video of famous actors throwing a complete fit, like Will Ferrell. Nobody does a fit better than Will Ferrell, because you watch that fit, that's often how I have felt as I've gone through personal development, right? You go in and you dive into our fears, you dive into our emotions, and comes to the surface is very revealing to us. And it's when we stand and we face our fears, we face our anger, and we ask, what is the message, that we finally, this pressure goes until we get them, and then it breaks and relaxes, right? This is what's actually happening with the earth frequency and the human frequency, this correlation. So every time the earth frequency spikes, we have a higher stress and depression and anxiety. Well, what is anxiety and depression? Okay, stress is the strain in between, right? It's being caused by the anxiety and the depression. Stress is that overworking, overloaded stress system, all right? Our system is in fight or flight. That's what that is, okay? So we don't really need to talk about stress. Anxiety and depression, though, those are interesting. So anxiety is fear of the future. It's the unpredictable future. Depression is the inability to accept the past. So as the frequency goes up, it is pushing us. These two elements of anxiety and depression are like a pressure that comes, depression from the past, the future pushing down, and it's coming at us like this, and it's squishing us like this, right? And putting all this pressure on us, which is causing stress. This is why anxiety and compassion and everything, because as our frequency goes up and we become more aware, we move into a higher vibration consciousness, our consciousness opens up, And our fears, our anxieties, our misalignments with our soul selves begins to reveal itself and that is the anxiety and the depression pushing at us, causing stress, forcing us to break through and have our greater awareness and our awakening happening. This is what's going on. Okay, so this is what the Schumann resonancy is all about, the vibration of the earth as it increases, and it's spiking up and down, which is why, and it's been on an increase of this since I actually thought it was a lot earlier than 2014, but my basic Google search when I was kind of trying to get some dates and everything, it actually said 2014. So it could be a little more information out there on that dates back a little further than the particular information I was pouring through. But anyhow, so that is the earth frequency. So our consciousness is rising. We are moving into a more complicated vibrational frequency, which is in alignment with compassion. It is in alignment with caring and connectedness. Now, here's another actually. So anyhow, that's what all this frequency and everything is about. We are doing that. That's why we have a higher level of anxiety and depression. And the best way to get through anxiety and depression is to go within, which starts with the breathing. Remember I've talked about the breathing? Breathe deep. Take your body through the breathing deep, moving into your heart, feeling your body, identifying those emotions as we go into the breathing. Breathing is so huge, right? Okay, breathe deep. We tell our body that we're safe in this moment. We move ourselves out of the fight and flight, and we move into the nurture, heal, and grow, right? So we do that. And then our emotions, we pay attention to how we feel, and we identify our emotions and ask for the messages that they are giving us. We see the insight. We identify our behavior. We identify what our anxiety, our fear, and how we have been acting in taking action in our life based on those misalignments to compassion, right? Because that's what it is. We're misaligned to the energies of love, caring, compassion, love, right? Divine love, not this weird relationship thing that people do in romance, whatever. No, I'm talking about divine love, which is pure love, is unconditional. Okay, that's what we're all striving towards. Well, misalignments are where we are not taking action in alignment with love. That's what it is. That's all it is. So I've just explained the entire spirituality movement and how you can heal yourself. There it is. Replay it if you need to. That's the conscious awakening. You're going to. There was something else I was going to go on to about. I don't remember now. Frequency, anyhow. So increasing our frequency, increasing our awareness, our consciousness, it is a fact. We are increasing in our vibration. We are opening up our consciousness. We are capable of so much more. We are developing our human potential. We are becoming more capable. And let me tell you that telepathy and all of the telepathy, super learning, healing, spontaneous healing, superpowers of like self-regulation, levitation, all those things, science is actually proving that every single human body is capable of them, and that the way to unleash those capabilities is through going within, calming the system, raising the vibration. And that's what this does. That's what the spirituality movement is. So there's my whole explanation today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to cut it off right now. Hopefully the thought that I was thinking earlier will come back to me, and that'll be tomorrow's talk. I don't know. We'll see what happens. These are very spontaneous little videos. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video. I hope you got some insight to it, and a better understanding of yourself. If you need some help, reach out. There's myself. There's lots of people out in this field working with energies that help you move through this. Keep a positive attitude, embrace the joy of living, enjoy your quarantine, your self-isolation. keep following the isolation, okay? As much as I'm a spiritualist and I know that we're moving into a better part of this world, and as much as I follow conspiracies as well, I think there's more to this picture than what we're actually receiving. None of my sources that I go to, not one, no matter what conspiracy I follow, no matter what spiritual movement I follow, not one is disagreeing with recommendations of social distancing, being aware of our speaking moistly, and taking care of ourselves and all the recommendations that are coming out during this pandemic. Okay, nobody is denying that there is a virus. Nobody is denying that this is a serious issue. Okay, but heads up, watch for your freedom, and work on your conscious awakening. All right, have a great day. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it. Join me tonight. I'm doing a Reiki meditation. You'll need the Zoom link for it, so you'll have to send me a message and I'll send you the Zoom link. That's coming out after I do this video. Anyhow, have a great day. Fantastic. Love you all. Mwah. Enjoy your isolation and self-distancing. Bye. And enjoy Earth Day. Remember to give some gratitude to Earth Day. Love you. Bye.